In all of the political argument over the ALP's policy to switch off negative gearing on established homes from the middle of next year, there's never been any economic modelling to show what the effect might be on the housing industry. Now the firm BIS Shrapnel has had a stab, and its numbers are neither pretty nor accepted by the Labor Party. It reckons $19 billion could be wiped off gross domestic product, and housing construction will slow down. Well, the release of the figures have stirred the negative gearing debate to all new heights of passion and fury.
I bid $1 million, thank you, sir. I bid $1 million and welcome aboard, sir.
What this report shows is that it'll drag growth, it'll send growth backwards and retard growth in the economy, and that's no way to manage a transitioning economy.
Now it's your opportunity.
It makes a fundamental assessment of a very big policy issue that's out there in the public domain.
$1,330,000.
Well, the report was written over the last few months before Labor released its policy, and it wasn't directed at any particular policy at all, and in fact we've made no recommendations. Our job was simply to trace the effects on the economy by crunching the numbers and looking at what might happen if you did this kind of change.
The report doesn't model Labor's policies, it models a set of fantasy assumptions and then draws its own conclusions. What is even more laughable is that the Treasurer has nailed his credibility to a report with no credibility. We've got a Treasurer who's, sinking without trace, desperately grasping at the straw of a report which was done before Labor's policy, without modelling Labor's assumptions, without even looking at Labor's policy.
Who commissioned it?
I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask BIS Shrapnel. BIS Shrapnel have released
they won't tell
reports. Well, that's a matter for them. You'd have to ask them.
I'm not at liberty to say that, but I can say that it's not a political organisation or anyone affiliated with a political organisation. It's simply a private firm.
Labor's policy on negative gearing, let's be quite clear, what that will do is, in practical terms, remove about a third of the demand for established residential properties. It will reduce the amount of the number of properties that are available for rent. It will reduce the value of properties, and it will inevitably lead to an increase in rents. It is a very, very misconceived measure, and you can see it's perfectly obvious that Labor rushed it out without carefully analysing it. I said when I became PM that we would respect the intelligence of the Australian people, and we do that by working through issues carefully and taking into account all of the advice and all of the analysis, and then we come to a conclusion. Then, of course, we make an announcement.